Well, it turned out a pretty day today. We won't have such luck tomorrow. Tomorrow it's going to be, I don't know, in the 50s, I think. And then we are going to have an all-day rain. I guess it's that time of the year where it's going to start raining all day like that. It's springtime. We'll get that for a couple months, then we'll go into summertime and it'll be hot. I'm going to go down here and fill the water up today. If it's an all-day rain, I'm pretty sure the well will get dirty. The ground's already pretty saturated, and so I've said before how that works, that the ground gets saturated and then the water comes down into the bedrock and kind of seeps down in there. It's just an old well. They just didn't dig it like they do today's wells. So it's no big deal. What I do is about 2 days after it stops raining, then I flush out the well and I clean it out by flushing it out that way. But I got to have enough water in the tank to make sure I'll last 2 days. And Carolyn's doing laundry right now, so we're using quite a bit of water. And Frenchie or Rue, one of them, is making a lot of noise, which I want to talk to you about them in just a minute. Yeah, that's Frenchie. He's being noisy. So we'll get the generator started here. Yesterday, it died on me twice while I was filling the water. After I got off the video up front with you, I was on the, we started it up together, and then it died, and then died again later. So I guess I just got to have this cover off and the air filter cover off. It just doesn't get enough oxygen. Once I opened it up, it did fine. So I think the issue is the air filter cover causes too much blockage to run that high of an RPM on this. Now, like I said yesterday, I'm going to get, see, this is the only air intake it's got, is that little hole right there. So I said yesterday I'm going to get some Seafoam, which is an engine cleaner. You can put it in your oil and your gasoline. I think what I'm going to do is put it in the gas. I might even put it in the oil because it smokes. I don't know. I have to read up on that. Will it help the smoking of the generator? But with the gas, it should clean the carburetor up. If not, then I'll just take the carburetor off and clean it. I just don't want to dig into it because it's really tight in here. I mean, it's like modern day cars. It just, everything's packed in there, which, I mean, they had to make it small. You see they got bolts in here. It's not like a lawnmower where everything's easy to get to. Yesterday, I changed this gas filter that I put in. This didn't have a gas filter when I bought it. Neither is a new one. So I put one in when we were in New Mexico. It did start running better after I changed the gas filter. So it may have been more dirty than I expected. But I'm still going to put that Seafoam in there. I mean, it may run good today. I'm just not going to test it with that new filter. But once I get the Seafoam in there, I'm going to let it run for an hour or two. Then I'll shut it off, let it soak overnight, and then hopefully that carburetor will clean out a little bit. Then I'm going to try to run the well without taking the cover off. Still starts on the first pull. That's the first time it's ran today. Started the well up, so it's hanging in there. But there's no surging now that I've changed that gas filter, so that may have been the problem. And I just didn't think that would be dirty, but maybe it was. Yeah, I can hear it. It's just not surging now. It's doing really good. I mean, it doesn't surge a lot. It's just a little mild surge. Okay, so we're gonna go into the chicken run here and see if we can find any eggs. Got some exciting news. We've got a Buff Orpington, which are pretty brooding right now. 2 days ago, I caught her brooding. Well, I didn't know if we wanted to raise chicks for this year or next year, so I went ahead and brought the eggs up. And I forgot to tell Carolyn that the chicken was broody. Well, the next day, she was still there and broody, and I asked, do you want to raise chicks this year? And she did. She wanted to raise chicks. So we're going to let her brood. So yesterday, all the chicks had laid their eggs out everywhere. I guess because she was in the nesting box, and I don't know. Right now, she's been pushed to the side. So I'm guessing she's allowing some come in and lay eggs for her. I put food and water in there for her, but it looks like she knocked it over. Yesterday, we put 5 eggs in there. What we did was took a pencil and we marked around every egg, all the way around, big circle. That way, when you're looking for eggs, you'll know that the eggs that have a circle on it are the ones that we set aside for her to lay. And she'll protect those chickens. Now, she won't lay any eggs the entire time that she's broody and raising chickens. So we probably won't even get any eggs out of her this year. But that should give us, we thought we'll give them 10 eggs. We got 5 yesterday. If we get 5 today, then that'll give 10 eggs. And then that will give us, let's just say 5 chicks, 5 more females to give us eggs for next year. And I think that would be about the perfect amount. That also will replace the chickens that are getting older. Chickens only, I think, lay eggs for about 3 years and then they stop laying. Well, if we start reproducing now, chicks next year, they'll start producing. So if we get 5 this year and 5 next year, that gives us 10. We got 12 right now. So it'd be close to what we have right now. Now, the thing what we want to be careful of is that we don't mix one of the rooster's daughters with that rooster, because then the granddaughter could come out deformed. They're getting noisy. If we found one that was deformed when it was born, we'll just go ahead and dispose of it. Okay, so I found 2 additional eggs, so that'll give us a total of 7. I took it up to the house and I marked it with a pencil. Don't use a magic marker or anything. You can only use crayons or pencils. That way it doesn't seep in there and hurt the egg. Now, as long as you don't freeze this egg, they'll be fertile for 7 days below the 100-degree temperature that the hen is at. So if you decide you want to incubate them or sell them, you got 7 days to get this into an incubator. I'm going to put this inside there. Maybe we can see the Buff Orpington being broody. We'll give it a try. Right now she's being crowded, so we got 2 of them in there right now. The one here, the tan one, is a Buff Orpington. The other one is a New Hampshire. So I'm going to put these eggs up underneath her. Well, that was easy. She didn't even try to peck at me. Okay, so a lot to talk to you about here. So we've had buffs go broody before. Buffs are very broody birds. They'll brood right away. The others, though, will not. They're not very broody. So we have the Buff Orpingtons, Americanas, and New Hampshires. So that's a New Hampshire there. She's kind of a reddish color. And then we have, well, here we have them both together. We got the New Hampshire right in front and the Buff is in the back. So we got 3 Buff Orpingtons. They're very broody. Now with this one, the one that just went broody, it's quite likely that the other 2 will go broody as well. The Americanas won't go broody as much. So the problem with this is if you get one to go broody, all of them could go broody. If you have a broody flock like Buff Orpingtons, well, we got 3. Remember, if they go broody, they won't lay any eggs. Now, the thing you want to remember is it is suggested that you separate the broody chicken from the rest of the flock. Well, we don't necessarily have to worry about that. The Americanas are quite a bit smaller than the Buff Orpington. The Buff Orpington, although a very friendly breed, so I've read, is a little bit more aggressive than anything we've got. So with the Americanas being so small, they won't even bother with her. They don't even go around her. The New Hampshires are supposed to be fairly aggressive. But the 3 or 4, I think, well, we got 4. The 4 that we got are just as timid. They're the most timid birds we got. They are just so tame. You can pet them and they'll come up to you. They ask for food. So I don't think we're going to have a problem with the chickens beating up on the broody chicken. A lot of people will try to dissuade the chicken from going broody. Now, the first time they go broody, they may not do it the entire time. So you're going to have to be patient with them. They may only do it for a couple days, they may do it for a couple weeks, or they may do it the entire time. So that means the second time around, they'll most likely go ahead and sit on them until they hatch. And then they will protect the birds from the rest of the flock. The rest of the flock will try to pick on them, but she won't let that happen. That's why I want to do it this way. Raising chickens on your own and trying to get them to integrate with the other chickens, that was a nightmare last year. And I don't think I ever want to do that again. That was tough. We need a separate pen basically have 2 flocks. It was just too tough. I don't want to do it again. But if we can get them to breed like this would be perfect. What people will do is they will try to put the chicken in cold water, or the broody chicken, or put ice underneath them, try to cool their body temperature down to get them out of the broodiness. But you got to understand, the broodiness is kind of a hormonal thing. Spring kicks on in their hormones. Most of the time when a chicken lays an egg, they're like, oh, look what I did, and they walk away. But when a broody chicken lays an egg, she'll automatically kick into a broodiness and she'll lay on it because of hormones. Well, if you are trying to dissuade the chicken from sitting on the eggs because you want it to produce eggs, you could actually stress the chicken, and it could kill the chicken. If you stress the chicken, they're not going to lay any eggs anyways. Stressful conditions keep them from laying eggs. You have a dog come around, they'll stop laying for a week. So you're not really gaining anything. Just let them go through the cycle. Now, if you don't want to hatch chickens, get what we have. We have ceramic eggs. She can lay on those ceramic eggs. So we're going to follow along with this for the next few weeks, see if she does it. Like I said, we've had one buff already get broody. So we're hoping that this buff is the buff that got broody last year. If not, we're hoping that the other 2 buffs will go broody because she went broody. The hormones will kick in their hormones. And then one of them will end up laying on the eggs full time. Well, I would like to do it with the set of eggs that we already have in here. I would rather that if she decides to get up, she gets up and the other ones lay on it. One of them will actually lay on it the full term. If not, we'll just keep trying over and over again. So if you'll click on this up next box, it'll take you over to the other channel. I'd really appreciate it. So I hope I can inspire you to research your dream. Thanks for watching.